Hello, Teens 5. Here Miss Lou speaking. This video belongs to class number 7, which is past habits used to versus would. So, first of all, yes, I did cut my hair. Which crazy things did you do during the quarantine, or have you been doing, rather? And I also wanted to congratulate you because you've been doing a great job asking questions, talking to me through via email through the classroom. So thank you for that. Nice. I needed some tea. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to explain you shortly, so you pay attention to me, the difference between used to and would. Some of you have already studied used to in the past with me, so we're going to start with that because that is the one you know. That's the one you have studied before. So used plus to plus the infinitive form of the verb is a structure that is used to talk about actions that we did in the past but we don't do anymore. And it is very important to understand that when I use used to, I am talking about actions or states that happened in the past and don't happen in the present, but also that in the past continued for a long period of time. Okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. I could say something like, I used to play football every Saturday when I was a kid. So that means that, I don't know, ever since I was 3 up to when I was 10, every Saturday I went to the club and played football. So very similar to saying something like, I played football every day when I was young. And I also can talk about states. So I will go back to my example. I used to play football every Saturday when I was a kid. By now, you know that the verb play, which is an action, is a dynamic verb, right? But I can also say this. I used to hate vegetables when I was a kid. All right, now hate is preference and it is a stative verb. It talks about a state of my mind. All the time when I was a kid, I hated vegetables. I used to hate vegetables when I was a kid. For a very long period of time in my life, I hated vegetables. I used to hate vegetables. So, by now, we know that used to can be used for past actions that we did for a long period of time, active verbs, or we can use it to talk about long states, long preferences that we had in the past, stative verbs. I used to play football every Saturday. I used to hate vegetables when I was a kid. Now, on to the next subject, would. Okay, we know would for other topics. We know would for the conditional. We know would as the past of will. But is it possible to use would for the past? Well, yes. We're going to use would to talk about a past habits only when we are talking about actions that we did in the past and we don't do anymore. But it is also important that those actions, although we did them in the past, we didn't do them all the time for a continued period of time. We did them repeatedly. So I can say something like, when I was a kid, I would often see my grandparents at the weekend. Does it mean that I had the routine of every weekend going to my parents' house? No. It means that in the past, when I was a teen, some weekends I would go to my parents' house. Now, the main difference between used to and would, although both of them refer to past habits, things we did in the past but we don't do anymore, the main difference between used to and would is that would can't be used with stative verbs. So, would is only going to describe actions, dynamic verbs that we did in the past and we don't do anymore. All right? So, nothing else to say. That's the most important thing you have to remember when you talk about used to and would. Both of them are for past habits that we don't do anymore. However, used to can be used with active actions, dynamic verbs. I used to play football, or stative verbs. I used to be happy when I was a kid. And would can only be used with active verbs, dynamic verbs. I would play football every Saturday. So, if you have any questions, please recheck the theory that is included on your photocopy because I think it is pretty clear. I think I did a good job. And then I also included a BBC video on YouTube. Those videos are kind of silly. I agree with you. I know you are probably thinking they are silly, but they are also very useful. I'll tell you what, this video I included for you of the BBC, it helped me a lot to understand this topic better so I could explain it to you better, okay? Anyway, if you have any questions, please, as you have been doing, just write them down on the class and I will try and answer them to you. Okay, good luck and see you next class. Bye.